This week, we're helping a couple update and add some comfort to their spacious courtyard patio.
We love being outdoors, but we don't like being hot.
I've been helping homeowners improve their home for a lot of years. They think it's intimidating, but it actually can be a lot of fun.
And we're here to help. Dad's the expert, but I've learned a few things along the way.
Practical, realistic home improvement information is what today's homeowner is all about. This mid-century home belongs to Dina and Dale, who recently bought it to begin enjoying retirement.
Well, we've lived here about 3 years.
We love the trees, the magnificent live oaks.
When we were looking for our forever home, Dale wanted a large yard. And going into retirement, I didn't think that he wanted to spend a lot of his time cutting the grass. Our little dog Rascal is 11 years old, and he's just the best little dog. He loves this backyard. We have just a little bit more square footage than our previous house, but we have less rooms. So I have lots of pictures left over.
And I'm into several different hobbies. I like woodworking, so we had a nice shop.
We love being outdoors, but we don't like being hot. And the patio is very hot. We've always thought about having some type of covering. And I've always thought that it would just be so much fun to be able to entertain on the patio and have a really comfortable outdoor living area.
Good afternoon.
Oh,
Hey,
man,
guys.
you do have a big patio here. You
This is
said it
nice.
was pretty nice size.
It's
Exactly.
large. Several features that we like about it. We like the flower beds. We like the French doors.
Yeah.
That's one of our favorites, both sets of French doors, and I've always envisioned having them open
Oh, I got
and
you.
having a gathering. One of the downsides of opening all the patio doors, of course, the bugs.
There's actually some really cool retractable screens that could fit any one of these openings.
I've envisioned having all of my doors open to the patio and just having a great flow.
What other changes were you thinking about doing out here?
Well, we've had a cold spell, so I've lost all my plants.
Yeah.
And I do like my plants. I love to be able to have a lot of color.
Is that I guess, obviously a little fire pit there. Was that always a fire pit?
No, we just found out a few weeks ago from a neighbor that there had been a pine tree
Oh,
that
that
they,
close to the
that they
house.
had
Woo.
left there when they built the house.
Wow.
And it seemed like a perfect place for a fire pit, but it takes up a lot of real estate and it's in a very awkward area.
So you don't care if it stays
Okay.
there or
No.
not?
Because that kind of
we're-
seems like that might end up being in the way sometimes.
It is in the way.
Yes. One thing Dina has mentioned ever since we moved here is she'd like to have a pergola. She enjoys sitting out here in the afternoon and she can take the heat.
Right.
I'm usually working out in the yard a lot, and by late afternoon I'm hot. I want to go in the house and
You don't shade.
in some
Yes.
shade.
Right. Well, it's pretty good size. I don't think we need to extend it out into the yard. And of course, you don't have much yard here to work with anyway, so.
No, not at all.
The weather is beautiful on the day we return to start work. Make a big difference once we get this thing just pressure washed. That'll be a big difference.
It's gonna be gorgeous.
Woo, a lot more stuff on that patio than I
I know, it
realized.
keeps growing.
I love established plants, but these are a little bit overgrown and a recent frost got to them, so they're not gonna look good for a long time. So I think we're better off here to remove everything and start from scratch. Woo, that one's long. I think it goes inside the house.
Believe it or not, that is cleaned out once a year.
Woo, where'd all these leaves come from?
The neighbor's tree.
That's the worst.
All of our trees do not shed all their leaves in the fall. However, our neighbor's tree does.
If you want to keep mosquitoes from ruining your evening, but you don't want to be spraying poisons or pesticides all over the place, here's a non-toxic way to keep mosquitoes at bay. What you can do is get a glass jar, an empty jar, and we're going to add first 2 or 3 sprigs of fresh rosemary, and then some water. Just plain water. Fill it up at least 3/4 of the way or so. There you go. Now, some lemon eucalyptus oil. I want to add maybe 10 drops or so. And some fresh slices of lemon and lime, just 2 each would be plenty. And now we're going to top it off with a tea candle, small tea candle. Going to light that and set that right on top. There you go, and it'll just float on top. Not only will that keep mosquitoes away, but it looks great and it'll be a nice addition to your table.
Dina and Dell have a great patio already, but it needs some shade and a few repairs. These partial bricks have to come out first so we can fill this void.
Those pavers that were around the old fire pit were covering up a lot more partial bricks than I realized.
Oh yeah, and every one of those had to come out so we could get back to full brick and that basket weave pattern. Almost no bricks that you see anywhere have labels on them to tell you what it is, except these.
Except these, St. Joe. Are they made in this area?
Well, close by, they're from Louisiana, and I happen to have a few of them, as we say, squirreled away.
Squirreled away. There we go. The brick mold on these exterior doors was obviously partially replaced at some point. Unfortunately, they only removed like the bottom 16 inches and it does not look very good. Ugh. So we are going to remove the entire side and replace it the right way using a composite material that we don't have to worry about ever rotting. All right, there has obviously been a lot of water in here for a long time.
Yeah, it looks like part of it's already been replaced once.
I hate that. They should have just gone all the way up, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna use a PVC material so that it won't ever rot again.
That's comforting.
Yeah, and then this will be the perfect place for your new screens to mount.
Okay.
And also, you know, we don't like to just replace stuff. We like to make the problem go away. And where, you know, the rain falling off the roof and splashing back onto the wood, there's a piece of metal that you put under the shingles, a rain diverter. And you angle it just a little bit so the rain will come off to the side instead of splashing right here.
The new cellular PVC brick mold cuts and nails just like wood. And once it's in place, Bear arrives to begin pressure washing the patio.
In this case, these bricks are so old and so porous that they're extra dirty, so pressure washing is making a huge difference.
While the patio gets a bath, Chelsea and I get started on the pergola. You know, when you're using treated wood, you never know how heavy it's going to be because the pressure treatment, some's drier than others.
And it's 20 feet long.
And it's 20 feet. And it's a 2x10.
It's the size of a tree.
Yeah. The first chore is laying out the pattern and making the decorative cuts on the end of each board.
Wow, this looks like it could be a pergola.
It's the start of a pergola. This will be, that's your flower bed already.
Okay.
Right.
And so we'll have a 6x6 coming here. This will actually have this cut that I'm doing now, and this will actually rest on the roof with these special brackets that we have.
Okay.
Then when you look overhead, I'd mentioned to you about the shade cloth.
Yes.
When you're looking overhead, this will be tied to the roof here and here, and the shade cloth will actually be suspended in the middle.
Wow.
That's gonna be awesome.
You know, so the good thing about it is you'll only have those two columns there and there.
I love the sleek look of not having any columns on the patio.
Oh, that's working out well because usually that's not the case. And usually we'll be cutting out some bricks in order to put it down in there. Flower beds are in the right place.
Well, and it keeps the patio from getting smaller.
Yes,
So we really won't have anything to have to walk around.
Exactly.
On the
Right.
patio.
Yeah, it won't take up any of the room at all in there. So.
Oh, that looks like a great design.
So what we're going to do is finish cutting these few little pieces out and then let you guys get started on the staining.
Okay, we're ready.
You know, I found out a long time ago it's a lot easier to stain things on sawhorses than on ladders.
Oh, yeah.
So being able to get all of the staining done is going to save a lot of time and maybe prevent a fall off a ladder.
If the homework had to be anything, that was a good thing for it to be, because we're pretty handy at that.
Well, this goes on a lot quicker than I thought it would. It's a little easier than paint.
Yes, but I really love this color. During the whole process of staining all the lumber, I probably said wow 10 times. The color is really beautiful. I love the contrast.
You know, before we can lay any bricks at all, we've got to have something to lay the bricks on. So Bear's grading everything so he can pour concrete to make not necessarily a level area, because it has a slope to it, but one that's consistent with the thickness of the bricks. So once we put the basket weave brick in, it'll disappear.
It'll be warm soon enough and we'll be enjoying the shade under that new pergola, won't we?
With umbrella drinks and everything.
That's right.
I think all of us are very familiar with the video doorbell systems that are so convenient and awesome because you can see who's coming and going out of your house. Well, what if you want to be able to have that kind of information around the other sides of your house? Well, Wise Outdoor Cam has got that solution for you. This is what it looks like in the box, but I've taken it out to show you. Look how small and compact this is. You can put this on the side of your house or in the back of your house, and it's going to operate exactly the same way as your video doorbell will, except you don't have to hardwire it to your home because it is battery operated, and those batteries are rechargeable, and it holds that charge up to 6 months. You can view what's going on in real time. It also can record. It's got night vision. If, say, you're watching your kids in the backyard, you can talk to them in real time as well. So now you can keep an eye on the kids in the backyard or your dog while you're at work because you do it all by your smartphone. So this is a great solution for that.
Overnight, Dina and Dale stained the lumber for the pergola. The next morning, the stain on the lumber is dry, so once the layout is complete, I start digging the post holes, and Chelsea starts prepping the rain diverters.
To get them ready before we install them, I'm going to cut them to size and then etch them with a little bit of vinegar to help paint stick to them because we're going to paint them to match the shingles. Sometimes you don't realize your knife is dull until the cameras are rolling and you're trying to cut a terry cloth rag. I could just walk to the trailer and get a second rag. Gosh, sometimes I'm just like, what was I thinking? Now I'm committed.
Well, you know the posts are extremely important to the success of this
Oh, yeah.
pergola, and these puppies were heavy. We got to get the concrete around there and make sure that it remains level and plumb.
And then you cut off the tops to make them the same height as
Yeah,
each
once
other?
we know exactly, because a lot of people want to go ahead and cut the post and then set them exactly where it needs to be. Never works. Even though it's hard to get on a ladder and cut a 6x6 post, it's the only accurate way of doing it. To match the height of the second post, I tape a level to a board so we can transfer the elevation from the first post. Now, as we're working on the columns, the crew arrives to install the Wizard Retractive View screens. The housing that holds the screen is mounted on one side of the doorway, and then tracks are attached along the bottom and top of the opening to guide the screen as it rolls across the space. A latch on the other side holds it in place. You know, these beams are so long, they're so heavy, makes me a little nervous, 3 of us walking up ladders in order to secure them, but I've got an idea.
So Dale, you do a lot of work out there in the shop and everything. I know one of the things you always wanted is a tool named after yourself.
Oh, nice.
So this is the Dell Tool, that's all we're gonna call it.
Okay.
And this is used to really be the strength by lifting that beam we're about to lift up.
Gotcha.
So all you're gonna have to do is hold this, go up or down.
Okay.
There you are, I think you can do it.
Sounds easy enough. Thank you.
I love it.
You think I can handle it?
I think you can handle that.
I thought you were pulling a joke on Dale, but it actually works, comes in
I've
handy.
used that before, and don't tell him, but I've also named that after other homeowners before, so keep that.
That's our little secret.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna go through this index finger, is that okay?
Okay, yeah, that's, I don't use that one much.
It looks like wings, doesn't it, Dale? Let's call them wings.
By pulling a line level from each post to the roof, we can determine the length and angle at which to cut that end of each beam. You know, it's going to be a bit of a challenge with the side beams because we have the little wing pieces that have to line up perfectly. We've got to line up on the roof a little bit. The beam's still as heavy as it was before, so there's a lot of moving parts. We're going to have to be real careful with this. Once both sides are attached, we can add the horizontal piece across the back and the decorative wing cuts that mount outside of it. While Bear reinforces the beams with lag bolts, Chelsea installs eye hooks for our shade cell.
Yeah, we just have these strings on just temporarily, and Dina, what we want you to do is just to kind of help us with those margins.
Okay.
And divide those up, and
All right.
then we'll replace it with some stainless steel cables.
This one's got to go in tighter. His is a little shorter. Yours could be pulled a little tighter. That looks good. The shade sail did give the space a whole different feel, almost as if it was a room.
This sure is a shady patio.
Yeah,
Shady people
shady
hang out
things
here.
might happen.
Once we secure the sail with steel cables, Bear installs the patio roof riser brackets to secure the beams to the roof. Then we mix up some mortar and begin laying the brick pavers in the void where the fire pit used to sit.
Oh, I love it.
That is awesome.
And like the profile is so
Yes,
sleek and
it
blends
is,
in.
and I love it. This is gorgeous. It's just gorgeous.
It's like it was always here.
It does. It fits in seamlessly. And
All right, I'm
it-
gonna close you back in.
Okay. I just was so excited about how it was going to bring my outside in and bring my inside out.
You know, we deal with a lot of problem solutions here on Today's Homeowner. Here's the problem: water cascading down, bouncing up off the bricks and onto the door, which is going to lead to some rot and deterioration on it. So a very easy solution is rain diverter metal. You can see the profile of it and what it looks like. And what it simply does is it slips right under the shingles like that, and then you get it like this, and then you want to tilt it just a little bit this way so that when the water comes down, it goes that way. Even though it splashes there, it'll splash in a good safe area and no door deterioration at all.
Before we finish the patio repair, we coat the bricks with grout release. This material keeps the mortar from sticking to the surface of the bricks. Then we use a grout bag to inject mortar in between the bricks before we smooth it off with a trowel.
It's so nice that they have these integrated flower beds in their patio area. It makes me happy to think that just with a few additions, we were able to make this patio so much more functional for Dell and Dina.
Despite the trees in their yard, Dale and Dina's patio got no shade at all. The tree ring turned fire pit was taking up valuable floor space. Splashing rain was rotting the door trim, and the patio was in sore need of cleaning. Now, there's shade in abundance thanks to our new pergola and shade sail. Plus, the pergola also adds loads of character to the space with its contrasting warm wood. All the doors that encircle the patio have now been repaired and upgraded with retractable screens, which allows the area to become an extension of the home's interior. And now those entryways are protected from splashing rain by the diverters overhead. Of course, cleaning the patio improved its appearance, but paving over the old tree ring opened up the floor space to make more room for entertaining. And we were able to do all of this for less than $2,500.
I don't know if there's enough words to describe it. We're blown away. We are looking so forward to having friends over to help us celebrate this new outdoor space.
We've gained space by filling in the hole that was there. We've not only gained space, but we've gained this beautiful shaded area.
The screens are wonderful. They work flawlessly. Basically, the three rooms that we live in most of the time, the living room, the kitchen, and the bedroom, now all have this easy flowing access to the patio. And the retractable screens are just going to make it even more inviting, bring the inside out and the outside in. They completely transformed our patio into an outdoor living space.
You know, creating and improving outdoor living space is still one of the most popular and one of the most rewarding projects you can do at your home. I hope we've been able to provide you a little inspiration, maybe a little motivation to try a few things at your home. Hey, thanks for being with me and Chelsea here on Today's Homeowner. We'll see you next week.
Dina's freaking out about her hot pink strings.
It's temporary, unless you like it.
Sometimes I just have to roll my eyes at myself. It's an ongoing issue that we have eliminated.
That's
High
right.
five for us.
All right.